Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's live stream, where I'm back on my Slovak Village save game that I started, a couple of months ago, and I haven't played for a couple of weeks. We're playing through, obviously, with Seasons mod. I've been playing Seasons. We've been playing 12-day seasons. We've worked through the spring. We've worked we're now in late summer. Harvest season has started on some of the crops on the map, as you can see. However, as you can also see, it is raining today. Which means my hopes of doing any harvesting at the minute are a little bit kiboshed. Kiboshed being a very good word, because it contains washed. Which I think is very fitting. So yeah, harvest is temporarily on hold. I think that's probably why I put the save down several weeks ago. The last time I played it, I think I just kind of maybe had a bit of a rage quit moment, because I'd been waiting and waiting and waiting since the end of spring. Since the planting, in week 8, I've been waiting through weeks 9 and 12 of spring, weeks 1 to 4 of summer, weeks 5 to 8. So I've been waiting probably 12 weeks in game. So I've had to play through 12 days in game to get to the point where I can harvest. And on that day, for the first time on the map, it also chose to start raining. So it's like the map just doesn't want to play with me. The map just does not want to cooperate with me at the moment. I've been dying to get on my fields all year, and now I get the chance to. The rain says, no chance, laddie. You're not going to be doing any harvesting today. Let's have a look. Yeah, see, I started harvesting field 14. I did start, but rain stopped play. Field 24, that's grass. 7 and 8 are grass. I could go mowing as an option. Could go and do some mowing. Obviously, we've got loads of stuff we can do over at the quarry, and obviously over at the sawmill. There's a lot of stuff we can do down there, but I feel like I've spent tons of this save already in the sawmill and at the quarry, and it was getting a bit of like quarry simulator, sawmill simulator, not so much farming simulator in this particular series. So I was really looking forward to doing the harvesting. I don't actually know what the forecast is regarding the rain. Could try fast forwarding time a little bit, I suppose. If we can get the rain to stop falling. That'll do. Hey presto, as if by magic, it's no longer raining. The crop moisture symbol is still on the map though. Is that going to prevent me? Is it going to tell me that it's too wet to harvest? Crop moisture is at 24% currently. That might be too high. That might be too high. Might not be allowed. Do not thresh when crops are too wet. Okay. Right. Let's have a think. Got a loading wagon. I could be collecting the straw. Let's go collect some straw. That I've done so far from my 2 little rows of straw. That'll just give me something to do for a moment. Whilst I'm just waiting for things to dry out a little bit. It's going to take me a little while to get back into the swing of things because obviously I've not been playing Seasons for a long time. I'm not using it in my my YouTube saves, and I'm not using it in multiplayer. So it's going to take me a little bit while to get used to how everything works. But the plan was first year to go all in on our fields, get every single crop type planted and harvested that we can on the map, that the map allows. See where we are then at the end of the year. In year 2, we're probably going to then look at adding in the first animals of the save. So chickens and sheep start with, because they're the easiest to look after and manage, whilst we do another year of crops and crop planting. Following that, in year 3, then we would look at adding in the cows and the pigs, the missing animals that we don't have selected. I wasn't sure about whether to do horses or not, for the simple reason you're not buying and selling horses with Seasons, you're just stabling them. And I don't know if that's whether that pays out as much in terms of profit as the base game, where you buy your horses, you train them up and you sell them. Obviously, in the base game, buying and training up and selling horses is incredibly profitable. You know, you're getting 50 odd thousand for every horse that you sell, which is great. However, I don't know if stabling makes the same money. I should be able to get out. He says. No. This guy, this mower's a bit on the fat side. So yeah, we've got a bit of mowing we can do today. Obviously got some silage bales in my shed from last time round. Got some hay bales too. I'm not sure what I would be looking for this time round. Do I do more hay? Do I try and get more hay bales this time? Do I go for more silage? Bearing in mind we're not obviously doing silage until, we're not going to be doing cows until year 3 at the earliest. Might I'll be better off just stockpiling hay, because at least hay I can use with sheep. So one of the interesting things on the map, there is actually no horse stable placed on the map. Despite the fact that when you get up here, there is a noticeable, like, there is jockey jumping areas over here. But they haven't actually got a stable, or what most people would recognise as a stable. So again, that was one of the things as well that maybe put me off buying horses, was the fact that we don't have access to an actual horse pen on the map. We'd have to buy and place one. So that was maybe one factor in my decision not to do horses. Of course, here I am doing my swath dropping. You can see where I tedded last time round on the map. I'm not going to mow as much of the field this time as I did previously. I'm not going to go right up to the trees because that did make it a little bit awkward when the tedder started throwing all the hay everywhere. So I'm just going to work a little bit inside the trees this time round. I guess I'm still in swath drop mode from when I did the silage. I think I did the hay bales first, and I think I just left it on wide spreading when I did the hay bales earlier on in the year. One slight difference from when I last played the game on this save is I'm using a mob now which enables you to basically mow the grass at any growth stage, but obviously the yield that you get varies depending on obviously the growth stage. So if you harvest the field while it's green growing, if you mow the grass while it's in the green growing stages, you won't get as much grass as obviously if you wait till the yellow and orange harvest stages. But you can mow the grass at any point now throughout the year, and you will get grass, which is great if you're doing animals. And that mod is compatible and works with seasons, hence one of the reasons why I'm using it. I can actually mow the grass and make hay and silage whenever I need to throughout the year. I'm not just limited to, you know, 1 or 2 mows a year now, which makes a bit more sense, because certainly on this map, from what I've seen playing through spring and summer so far, the conditions for actually like making your hay and that seem to be a lot better at the start of the year. We've come into summer and we've actually had more rain. It's rained more in the summer than it did during the spring on this map, which means obviously if you're trying to make hay, that's not very good. If you're trying to make hay, that's not great for you. Because the grass doesn't dry when it's raining all the time. So maybe on this map I can actually make hay at different points of the year now. I might be able to make hay in the spring if the conditions line up and the drying is good enough. I might be able to make hay in the autumn if it's dry and the conditions line up. I'm not restricted to the summer, and if we, you know, if we get a washout in the summer, like we have had thus far on this save, I'm not going to be blocked from making hay. And of course, anyone who has followed me for a long period of time and has watched my YouTube series and stuff, you will know I've always had a bit of a battle in this game when it comes to producing hay with seasons. I've always had mixed results where normally, in normal conditions, I cannot get the hay, the grass on the loose grass on the field to turn to hay. Doesn't matter, you know, I've always had problems. I've always chalked it up to mod conflicts, and I've never been able to identify what mods cause issues with the haymaking process that I've always struggled with. So ultimately, normally what I've done in game is I've used fermenting dryers, placeable hay dryers, grass dryers, to make my hay. But on this map, so far, I've been able to make hay, you know, the proper way. By bringing the tedder over, tedding it and then just leaving it to dry naturally, and then bringing the windrowing, and then baling it all up. So there we have achieved mowage. I could let the courseplay guy, I could set courseplay up to run the next field for me, which is where I'll probably end up doing my silage bales. I'm going to do silage. But we'll wait and see. I'm going to ted that grass first before I do any more mowing, because obviously I'd like to get back to harvesting. As soon as that moisture symbol disappears off the top of the HUD, somebody give me a shout in the chat. Someone just shout in the chat and let me know that I can now harvest again. Because I would love to get some of these fields done, get the crops in the silo. Looks like my tedder is here. So again, one of the things I haven't got yet on this particular save, I haven't got any harvest equipment for potatoes and sugar beets yet. That is something I still need to procure before we can do our sugar beet and potato harvests. I'm probably going to lease those year one. I'm not going to buy them because obviously they're expensive bits of kit, and I don't know if I'm going to do much in the way of potatoes and sugar beets for year two. Okay, the moisture symbol has disappeared from the screen, everybody. So I can resume harvesting now. So I'm going to have to ted this field very quickly then. I'm going to ted this field very, very quickly, and then we'll get back to harvesting. So this should be fun. This should be good. Hopefully this should work very well, because then whilst I'm harvesting, all this can be drying and I can bale this and collect it all later on. So yeah, I probably would have been better off mowing this field in wide spreading. I should have changed the mower back to the wide spreading. Obviously the mower, it was set up from when I did the silage bales, from when I did my silage. So I probably need to switch that back. But I'll leave it as it's set for now, because obviously I need to do silage next. I need to go and get the silage bales. I've got another grass field that I can mow and bale for silage. Bro Gaming 27, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the channel, welcome to the stream, Bro Gaming. How are you today on this Saturday afternoon? How are you, sir? So yes, I'm just in the middle of doing a little bit of attempted haymaking, because it was raining at the start of today when I first logged on to the save, or first opened up the save, which means unfortunately my harvesting had to stop because you can't harvest in the rain. So I then decided to jump over and mow me grass. Obviously the rain has now stopped. I'm just doing the tedding of my mowed grass, and then I'll be jumping back onto my harvester in a moment, and I'll be carrying on with my field harvesting, because man have I waited long enough to be able to harvest my fields. I've been waiting 12 weeks to harvest my fields, which obviously is 12 days in game. Trying to keep yourself busy for 12 days in game, a little bit difficult. Did some contracts when there were contracts that obviously met my fancy. I've obviously spent a lot of time playing in the quarry and playing in the sawmill, but man, I'm so relieved that I can actually get back onto my fields now and start actually doing field work again. Because that's what I enjoy most. I enjoy the field work more than all the other stuff. I do enjoy my field work. I find the field work very relaxing, very easygoing, you know. The dynamite, messing around with dynamite in the quarry, that's I don't think that would be very relaxing for a lot of people. Also, it's felt for a lot of the time when I'm in the quarry and the sawmill, it feels like I'm just playing Truck Simulator, because I'm just carting stuff around from point to point, place to place, and everything. So it's nice to get back to some actual farming, And as you can see, I've got a lot of fields here which are all ready to be munched by my harvester. And then we've got some, obviously, field prep to take care of after that. Get the cultivators out, get the fertilisers out. Start getting everything re-prepped, ready for next year's seeding and planting. Might be a little bit more relaxed next year. We might be able to turn the time scale up a bit higher and play on a slightly faster speed, because obviously next year in spring I won't have quite so much to do. If I can get ploughing and stuff done now, this in like the autumn, we will obviously not have to do that in the spring, which gives us a little bit more less of a panic. One thing I do want to quickly check on the field that I've just mowed, needs ploughing. Interesting. Is that because of the new mod I've got installed, whereby we have a mod that does soil compaction? If you drive on any field with a tractor or a vehicle that's over 6.5 tons, you cause soil compaction. I am back. I good? You? Yes, yes, yes. I'm very good. I'm very good. I'm very good. Looking forward to getting into this save a bit. What have we got on these fields, out of curiosity? Is it the same crop on both? No. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a little bit of a headland here, just to keep me straw on the field. First thing, of course, people will notice is I don't have the largest header on this combine. I decided to go for this Crezoni compact header, so I didn't have to deal with header trailers. It means I am sacrificing a little bit of harvest width. There are obviously wider headers available in the game. However, I didn't want to be dealing with header trailers when I'm travelling around the map, so I elected to go for the Crezoni compact. Probably should auto. Set some GPS. I do 10.5, I think. No, we're gonna have to do a lot less than 10.5. How wide is my header? I don't think my header is 10.5 meters. Somehow. 7.2. So let's change that to 7. There we go. GPS is set. 7 meters cutting. I can now just trundle backwards and forwards down this field and produce my and harvest my barley on this particular field. So let's have a look. Yes, here we go, look. Soil compaction. Soil compaction caused by the harvester. What that means is, on those little red lines, we will suffer a penalty if we don't plough this field after harvesting. On those red lines, we will suffer a penalty to future harvest of 30%. We'll suffer a 30% reduction in yield due to soil compaction. So that's going to make ploughing far more important now. It's also going to make, when you come to do your fertilising and stuff, it's also going to make it like, and your seeding and everything, that you're not driving all over the field, because you will hurt yourself and your yield. So yeah, that's an interesting mod. I've not used, this is the first time today that I'm using that mod in the game, so we're going to see how, I'm going to see how that plays out and pans out. It's something I might use in single player in future, in future saves. It might be something I put using my multiplayer server in the future on saves. But it's pretty good from what I've seen so far. Stretch. Let me stand up. Full stretch. There we go. I would hope somebody redeems a hydrate at some point, because I could really do with a drink as well, because obviously it's very warm in the UK at the minute. A hydrate would be perfect. So I could have a quick swig of drink. But yeah, we are harvesting, folks, on Slovak. So what should we talk about today a little bit whilst we're doing all of this? I guess we should talk about FarmCon and Farming Simulator 22. What was everyone's thoughts and reactions? What did you all think of what you've seen shown this week and announced this week? What were your thoughts and feelings? On the whole FarmCon experience? I am very, very happy with what I saw. There's a lot of good things coming to the new game. A lot of really nice things coming to the new game. For me, the noticeable thing straight away, and we picked up on this last night when me and Mr. Helgi jumped on the multiplayer server together after FarmCon to talk about things. The first thing we noticed was the sound difference. Coming back to FS19 and hearing all the vehicle sounds and stuff, that is definitely much better in FS22. The changes they've made to the sounds and the way they're doing sounds now, that is a huge change in the game by Giants. The work they've done on that sound engine and that sound editor that they're now using, definitely work well spent, I would say, because everything just sounds so much better now. All the different map sounds as well, all the different like background noises, the ambient noises in the maps, that all sounded better too. The fact that all the buildings had their own sound, like the production buildings and stuff, and the silos and stuff, all had their own sounds. That was very nice. That was very nice. I'm going to fold my pipe out, of course, because I'm going to get full in a minute, and I'm going to need to bring the truck over and unload. Fill level warnings just beat to tell me I'm at 90%, and it's turned the beacons on for me as well. So that gives me a visual clue that I need to empty. Another great little quality of life mod that we get here on PC, the fill level warning mod. I'm just going to back up. So I'm guessing this truck is going to cause compaction issues. I'm guessing this truck is over 6.5 tons. It certainly will be by the time it's full, because this trailer has got massive, massive capacity. Yeah. Oh well, it makes you... I like the fact that the mod is going to make me plough more. Because you don't... Ploughs tend to be a little bit underused in the game. Especially for the people that turn off periodic ploughing. So they think, I'm never going to bother ploughing. I don't need to worry about ploughing. This soil compaction mod changes all of that. Because even if you turn off periodic ploughing, you're going to have to plough if you use equipment that's too heavy on your fields. So there's no getting away from it. But yeah, I've got a lot of, I'll tell you what, we've got a lot of harvesting work to do. We've got a lot of harvesting work to do. I own a lot of fields. You know, you go back to the map, you know, we've got 5 and 6, 11 and 12, 14 and 15, 16 and 17, we've got 28, 27, 26 and 25 to harvest. You know, so obviously field 15 will be next, then we'll probably come over, do 28, we'll then do 26, we'll do 25. We're still waiting for the potatoes and sugar beets to come into harvest. We're obviously waiting for our corn, soybeans. So I've got a lot of harvesting to do, and unfortunately I've only got one harvester. I did consider maybe getting a second harvester. The last time I streamed, the last time I played this map, it was something we was talking about, because I have got money. I could invest in a second harvester. We do have the X9 available now, which I didn't when the mod first came out. And is that the good X9? It is. It's the good X9 with the 3D tracks. So I could get an X9 with 3D tracks, which has 24,800 litre capacity. I could grab that. Or I could grab the newer version. The Mod Hub version, which doesn't sadly have the 3D tracks. But hopefully Sid is working on that in an update. A future update for the mod. Now that we have the 3D track tool available for modders to use in the game, to use in their work, so as not to infringe on Giant's 3D tracks and not use stolen assets from obviously the DLCs, which is what caused a lot of problems at the beginning of the year for some mod authors, which saw some mod authors get temporarily banned from the mod hub. So yeah, we could grab an X9. Obviously we've got the 11,000. 35,900 litres on that one. We could have the Michelins. Don't think we get tracks with anything else though. So yeah, we could grab ourselves a John Deere X9 harvester. Or we could get the Tribine. We could use the Tribine, which obviously has a massive, massive grain tank. Massive grain tank on the Tribine, which could come in very useful for harvesting some of these big fields. But let me know. You guys in the chat are as important to this save as me. If you think we should grab a second harvester, let me know. You think a second combine would be beneficial? A bigger one, maybe? Then let me know in the chat. Or if you're happy with me just using this one harvester and taking my time and working through the fields slowly and steadily, I will go along with that decision as well. I mean, you guys out there watching in the chat decided what crops went on what fields. You told me what to plant and everything, so I suppose I should let you have some input in the harvesting choices as well. I mean, so far we're using the class Lexion, which is the largest from the base game and DLC equipment. I've already said though that the header could be bigger, but I chose to go with the compact header because I didn't want to deal with header trailers. But if I bought a bigger harvester, I wouldn't object to a bigger header. But what I would probably say then is that the bigger harvester would be limited and restricted to using only on this farm. I wouldn't use it for like harvest contracts or anything, because I wouldn't want to be trying to drag the header around the map. So if I did buy a bigger harvester and header, it would only be used for harvesting my fields. If I did a harvest contract anywhere, I would have to take this one. And that's something I've not looked at yet, is contracts. I don't think there is any harvesting contracts yet. I think we are the first people to be harvesting in the region, because I was, you know, really on the ball at the start of the year with getting everything ploughed, cultivated, seeded. I was way ahead of the AI workers. In fact, a lot of the AI farmers contracted me to do their seeding and stuff. So, yeah, I've been working very, very, very hard this year so far. I seem to be dropping a lot of frames at the minute. Wonder if my internet's about to die, folks. Let me just lower the quality of my stream on my iPad. It's already low on the desktop. Bitrate, yeah, bitrate is very low. What is going on here? stream health is a little bit down. We'll keep our eye on that. I'm at 1052 drop frames at the minute. Hopefully that picks back up again. I don't know why it would suddenly... Why I would suddenly start dropping frames, unless something on my PC has just randomly started deciding to upload or download something in the background. That could be the case. OneDrive or Live Drive might be starting to do a backup or something. Normally I try to remember to pause those. Right, I'm full again, folks. I need to go get my truck. Right, I'm going to drive on top of the swath, because then at least I'm driving over where we've already driven with the combine. So hopefully try and limit soil compaction a little bit. If I go down this swath here, hopefully I can unload. Not quite, look. The pipe's a little bit too short. Of course, we swaths are spaced 7 metres apart. This probably makes that an awkward, because the pipe's going to be like 13 metres. Whereas if I was using a 13 metre header, the spacing probably is better for the swath dropping. Spacing is probably much, and then the pipe probably falls in line with a swath, which means for unloading I would keep the harvester on the outside. Of course, now I know the truck causes soil compaction, massively causes soil compaction. Maybe on future fields I will use a auger wagon in between, so I'll keep the truck and trailer off the field and use a tractor and auger wagon for unloading the harvester and transporting to the trailer. Where are we? 3:30 in the afternoon. I should hopefully get this field finished today. I don't know if I need to look at the time scale then for future days, whether 5 times is maybe a little bit fast for one man with one harvester to do all these fields. Whether I might need to slow the game time down a little bit, I don't know. But ultimately, I have got going back to seasons, I have got, we're in week, what is it, week 10 now, is it? Week 9, week 10? So I've got seven days. I have got 7 days in which to I have got 7 well, I've got 7 days to get these crops harvested. So might be enough, but I am starting to think we will need another harvester. I'm starting to think that we will need another harvester. That was going to happen. I just took a nibble of the crop there, and as I was reversing back, I was like, I'm going to dump the straw. It's not going to be on the field. There's that big plane flying overhead again. That big Hercules transporter that's on the map. So yes, we've got quite a bit of work to do. Like I say, now we've got this mod, the compaction mod. We're going to have to do more ploughing now. So we're going to have to plough these fields this year. Again. %90 full. Look at that. Do you know what that means? It means I can empty without having to drive on the field this time. If I unload off of the field, then I won't be causing excess compaction, will I? A lot of noise, this truck. This truck has serious truck sounds in the bottom. Yeah, let's try and keep the compaction to a minimum. As you can see, we've been losing quite a bit of money over the last few days in game. I've not really been selling anything. I've not been producing much from my quarry or my sawmill. So that is an element to probably won't be selling a lot of crop first season, maybe as well. So there'll be that to consider. I mean, how do you guys playing with seasons typically sell your crop? Do you wait till the following year to sell your crop, or do you sell your crop as you are harvesting it? How do you guys normally handle your crop management? I'll admit, typically in my saves, when I've played with seasons, I still sell the crop as I harvest it, which means I might not necessarily sell the crop at the best time of the year, when it's worth the most, but it means I'm bringing money in, you know, each year. Every year I'm bringing in some income. People will say, but you've got 2 million in the bank, why are you worrying about money? Well, that 2 million has come from the work I've done in basically sawmill and quarry. That has all come from my 2 production plots on the map. If I'm not working those production plots, which typically when I'm doing my field work in the spring, and now obviously the harvest work in the summer and autumn, I'm not going to be generating any income. I'm not going to be making any money. And then if I don't sell my crops, we don't balance that. And we're still going to have to buy things like fuel. We're going to have to pay for maintenance. We're going to have to buy seed and fertilizer and lime and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of expense still. There's a lot of expenditure still to come this year. We're still going to lose a lot of money before the year is done. So, yeah, typically how do people handle their crops? It's always interesting to know from fellow players. Especially those of you that play seasons a lot more than I play seasons. I love the fact it's a little bit hazy, it's a little bit misty in the distance, which you would expect to see, having known that we had a morning of rain on the map, and now the sun's come out in the afternoon, the temperature's risen, so now there's a lot of, you know, evaporation going on, so you're going to get that like hazy, foggy effect as the moisture gets burnt off by the sun and the heat. It's amazing how that is so realistic. And I don't think I've set the settings up for that. I don't think I've done any additional settings on this map. I could be wrong. Depth of field is off. I do have the depth of field turned off, yes. So yeah, that's why. Normally the map would be very blurry in the distance, but I do turn the depth of field off, which is why my mountains look so sharp and my hills look so nice and green. because I do turn off that horrible Vaseline smeared effect that the devs typically go for. We're at 66% full, so I'll probably get full going back that way next, which means taking the harvester round to the other end of the field in a minute. But ladies and gentlemen, we've nearly harvested our first field of the save. We didn't have any crop fail. We didn't have any withering. We didn't have any disappointments. First field is coming and coming good. So we can be very happy with that. So Bro Gaming, you said you're cooking in the heat. What are you cooking? What are you cooking? It's a little bit early for me in the day. It's only 20 past 3 in the afternoon for me. It's a little bit early for cooking yet for me to even think about what might be on the menu tonight for dinner. Just going to reverse this back a touch, just so it's out of the way of the harvester. And then we're going to obviously start looking at moving on to the next row. So if I was to go with a bigger harvester, what header would we go for? 645? If we go for the X9, then yeah, we'd probably want the 645 FD. I would think is the one we want to go for. So I think the X9 would be a little bit nice to have. As another option for us. Especially for doing the soybeans and the corn harvesting. Although then that means we've got to have two headers. Because I wouldn't be able to harvest the corn unless I had a corn header. Ha! That's something to think about. It would come in very useful for harvesting some of that stuff over there. But wouldn't be very useful for doing corn or sunflowers. Would it? So as we can see, we're getting a fairly good yield off of this field, I think. By orange and green on the old yield map. So precision farming is doing its job. Obviously the orange area on the mini map must indicate we've got bad soil. We must have a bad soil map, bad soil type. Again, it's been so long since I've done any precision farming stuff because, again, I'm not using it in my current single player YouTube series, my Let's Play on YouTube, and we're not using it in multiplayer, funnily. So again, I'm a little bit out of practice with all of that stuff. The orange on this field might be the best we could have got. It might just be a case of that's the best. The best you can get with the ground underneath you. So yeah, I've got full a little bit earlier this, well, I wouldn't say I've got full, I've kind of reached a bit of a strange fill level there. I'm at like 3/4 full, but it makes sense to unload now because I wouldn't get back down the field. I wouldn't make it back down the field unless I went down the furthest row first, but then I would have to unload in the field. And again, I'm trying to avoid the soil compaction. Trying to avoid causing unnecessary compaction. I mean, I'm going to have to plough the field anyway now by the looks of it, so... But yeah, one barley crop is about harvested. So if we go and look at precision farming, soil types, loamy sand, okay, yeah, That clarifies things a little bit then, doesn't it? Hey, the loamy sand is giving us what, 80%, only 80% yield, possibly 75, more like 80, whereas the other soil type is giving us the 100% yield. So yeah, the barley hasn't really grown well on this field. We haven't really got a great barley harvest. We've probably come out a little bit under, a bit short, because of the combination of soil types. I'm wondering if I planted a second field somewhere. Did I do a second barley field? No, I didn't. I didn't do a second barley. I did 2 wheat. I did 2 wheat and 2 canola. So I decided not to double up on barley. I don't know why I made that decision. I'm not sure why I made that choice. Not to do a second barley harvest. Unless I plan to use the barley for something. And I wasn't too worried about how much we needed. How much we got. My limited brain capacity, however, doesn't allow me to remember things that happened before I last slept. So, I can't remember why I would have been saving barley and unless I was going to feed it to chickens. I was going to use it for the chickens. That would be a reason why. If I was going to do chicken harvesting, I was going to do chickens, then maybe I was going to feed the chickens the barley, and therefore it didn't matter. It didn't matter about the yield because the chickens aren't going to eat that much over the course of a season, over the course of a year. I mean, I think I've harvested plenty off of that field. I should have added the chopped straw mod, maybe, as well to this save. One of the things I do need to do after this harvest, I do need to come out with the terrain tool, and I just do need to paint a couple of fields, because certainly on these 2 fields we've got bits where I didn't seed, didn't cultivate. because the seeder didn't line up with the edge of the field, so I left some bits of the fields not seeded, not cut, and as you can see the result, there's a strip down the edge of this field where I didn't seed. So I will need to paint that out a little bit. I will. Oh, dropping frames again. Wait till I get to the end of the field before I start messing around on the desktop. I might just pause a couple of my background processes. That should work. That should be enough. That should be enough. Of course, it may not be me at all. It may be Twitch that's having the issues. If there's a lot of people streaming on a Saturday, it might be that Twitch is a little bit over capacity, oversubscribed, and therefore it's having the effect on my stream. Because if I'm streaming at 6,000 kilobits, megabits per second, or whatever it is. So the stream should be able to keep up. Need to, so obviously I'm going to have to measure this out. I think if I'm going to chop anything off of this field, I'll probably chop it off from this edge that's nearest the trees. Same on the field that I've just harvested. Because I don't think there's any obstructions that edge of the field. So I'm probably best off shortening the field on this top edge. Right, I'm going to get full going down here. So what I want to do is go and empty the truck. I want an empty trailer. So yeah, you can see on this field I chose not to seed the bottom edge. There's no benefit to doing that because there's nothing here for me to get stuck on and crash into. So when I shorten the field, I'm going to shorten the top edge. But we got 98,000 litres off our first field. 98,000 litres, everybody. That's a good first harvest. Good first harvest. from a field that wasn't great soil-wise, didn't have very good soil on it. So I should be happy about that. I should be somewhat happy with that. Let's get the pipe unfolding. Slightly unorthodox way of unloading the trailer, the harvester, but it keeps me from driving on the field. Okay, I've elected to drop straw, but I haven't finished doing my headland. So we've got a field of oats over there. We have got a field of wheat over there too. And then we've got 2 canola fields. So yeah, I'm gonna carry on doing my headland. I could have moved the GPS lines a little bit, but I decided not to. Here comes the train. Hello, Mr. Train. Not today, Mr. Train. You will not run me over. I haven't been run over on this map yet by the train. I'm probably tempting fate by saying that, but so far I've had 0 accidents with the train on this map. Which for a lot of people is probably a surprise, because most people will know I get run over by the trains all the time in this game. Me and trains are not best friends. Me and trains. 65% fill level reached. That's the first warning. That's just letting me know that we should be thinking about emptying soon, or maybe calling the truck driver, making sure he's awake and ready to leap into action in a moment's time. Again, one of the things I'm really looking forward to seeing in FS22 is the chopped straw, the particle effect and animation effect. It looks so much better in FS22. It looks a lot denser, looks a lot more 3D. So when you're throwing all your straw out the back of your harvesters now, it's going to look a lot more detailed in that regard. We might get the wheat harvest done as well today then, before it gets dark, which would be nice. If there's no more rain in the next day or two, we should hopefully be able to harvest earlier. So like as soon as we sleep through the night, as soon as we wake up in the morning, we should be able to jump straight in the harvester and get going on some other fields. I wonder how my grass has done. I wonder if my grass has dried yet. And whether I've got me hay. There's the train. Almost run me over again. Put my lights on. It's starting to get a little bit dark. And we'll put the work lights on now. It's just gone 7 o'clock, so as soon as the game tells me it's officially night time, then I will stop harvesting. I will stop harvesting. We will retire to the farmhouse, and we will have a night's sleep. I'm not going to work through the night. That could obviously have an impact on whether we get everything harvested in time. Right, we're at 90%. I have to empty in a second. So it looks like the unloading point is somewhere in between the two swaths, actually. It's a shame there's no angle adjustment on the spout there, on the pipe, like there is on a couple of the harvesters, because that would maybe make life a little bit easier. If I could have angled that down more, I might have been able to have unloaded from the previous from that previous swath. Alternatively, if I could have angled it up higher, I could have thrown the straw to the second swath, the wheat to the second straw swath. As it stands, the truck's kind of in between swaths when it comes to the unloading, which is not good for minimising the soil compaction. But like I say, we will work around that, because we're gonna have to plough. After harvest, we're gonna have to plough. Right, off we go then. So, about a third of the way through the field at this moment, I would say. I'm not going to get it finished tonight, sadly. The sun is rapidly starting to set now. Ain't got time for one more row. Just this last row, I think. And then we're going to have to empty the harvester, take the crop to the silo, park up for the night. We'll see if we can start at about 6. We'll try and see if we can start harvesting about 6 AM. Get an early start to the day. It might still be a little bit dark at that time on the map, but we definitely need to try and maximise the day. If we can get 13-14 hours of harvesting in a day, we will be on course, I think. That'll stand us a good chance of getting everything pulled in. If we're not able to reach 13 or 14 hours of harvesting a day, we're going to struggle. I'm just going to have to leave the straw on the ground for now. I'm not going to be able to collect that just yet. Right, fold the harvester up. Let's take the wheat that we've harvested so far, put it in the silo. We're not going to leave it in the trailer overnight. Okay, again, in case we get any rain or anything like that. Let's keep it dry. And let's take it and put it in the old silo. Right. I'm going to have a quick run. And I do mean a run. Just down to the grass field. Just to see where we stand. We haven't got any hay yet, folks. It's not turned into hay yet on this field. So we're going to have to leave it overnight. And you're going to have to come back in the morning. Right. Let's head over to the house. I want to wake up at 6 AM. Oh, we've got rain, folks. Okay, that's going to affect things a little bit. Because now we've got crop moisture. No, we haven't. It's gone again. Right, let's have a look. If I travel over to here, Railroad Silo East, that puts me a little bit closer to my grass fields. Still doesn't look like hay to me, so we're going to be leaving that a little bit longer, I think. Yeah, we're going to need to leave that for a bit longer yet. The straw looks like it's maybe decreased in size a little bit. Maybe we need to get the loading wagon out. Start collecting the straw. Yesterday's swaths are definitely noticeably smaller than today's, which would indicate we've had some straw rot overnight. Some of the straw has rotted overnight. So yeah, we probably want to get picking that up, otherwise we're going to lose it. How do I plan to harvest the other fields? Do we go for a bigger harvester? Yield wise and everything, definitely better on this field. I think we can agree. We're getting full. We're getting full. 70%. I've only done 2 rows. So I'm going to go down here and do the bottom one. There's the plane. The big jumbo jet. Right, I need the truck. Where's the way out? I should have just turned from down here then, shouldn't I? I'm trying to remember where all the gates are. On this farm. Very handily for the first load, I don't have to drive on the field. That's good. We like that. Not having to drive on the field is good. That keeps us from doing more soil compaction. Right. Wait for this thing to unload. It's not the fastest overloader in the world, but okay, I think we're going to have to try and up the pace if we can a bit, because 2 fields a day harvesting, I don't think is going to be enough. So yeah, I am starting to think I do need another harvester. We may have to go spending, folks. We may have to go spending. By gum. By gum, golly gosh. Turn the lights off now. Daylight is upon us. So yeah, 6 AM seems to be a good start to the day. Grimmy PS511. What's one of those? What is one of those? Another harvester load. Right. Let's carry it on.